Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Dela's Voice. I am ecstatic to have my next guest today. I have spoken to this wonderful man before, and the amount of knowledge he brings to the table is priceless. So it is my pleasure to bring to you today, one more time on Dela's Voice, Austin J Haines. He is a best-selling author, a professional speaker, a life and business clarity coach, and the talk show host of Flashpoint. He's also the founder of a wonderful organization that helps people all the time. They save lives. Emergency Life Coach. It is my pleasure to bring you Austin J Haines to help us strengthen our coping skills in times of transition, those difficult times in our lives. So please help me welcome Austin J Haines. Hello.
Hello, Dela.
Hi, nice to have you here, Austin.
I absolutely love this platform. I've been following you on here for quite some time, and it's great because there's a lot of stuff on Facebook, but what you're doing completely stands out. The people you're bringing on, you embody what you're bringing, and that's what I really love. And it's always an honor to come on here and talk about things, have some fun, and talk about things that really matter, especially right now during this time. And if you're listening, we just want you to stay with this. We're going to pour out here for you right now. So stay with us and let's have some fun and talk about some things that matter, Dela.
Absolutely. I want to welcome you, Austin. I want to thank you for giving us your time today. I want to encourage people that are watching right now to please share this talk with other people. If you love them, you'll share this talk because you just never know what one person might hear, just one piece of information that might one day save their lives, as you will hear. It has saved my life. So please go ahead and press that share button. Share this talk. Also, don't forget to give us the thumbs up. Okay.
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Austin.
Yeah.
I asked you what you would like to have as a title for this talk, and you came up with unexpected life transition and coping skills. What have you done to cope? Why is this so important to talk about right now?
Thank you, Dela. Appreciate the question because this isn't something we thought up for this video. This is something that we've been working on and building since the beginning of COVID, really, because, and I want to be clear, this is an idea that I had 2 years ago. So this was something that I felt was far reaching beyond COVID, because I know for me, and hopefully I'll get a chance to share some of this, there's times when we just get smacked in the face, for lack of a better term. We just get punched in the gut. You've heard the term. And when somebody says, I feel like I got punched in the gut, there's a physical feeling behind something unexpected that happens to us, a transition.
Mm-hmm.
And especially now. And I want to say to people, when you look at social media, it depends on what you're looking at, but some lens makes you think that everybody's just okay. They're just hanging out and doing things and whatever. But then there's another side where things are not right. And we really want to focus on those things. We want to reach those people who are maybe sitting there and think that everything's okay for everyone else, but not okay for you. That people don't understand what you're going through. And I know we're going to talk about what Emergency Life Coach is, because I've had some people, quite frankly, they've criticized me in some respects. Who are you? Why? Who are you to bring this platform to people? What is it? Is it counseling? Is it like, who are you? I'm confused. And I felt like that was my indicator that I needed to move forward with this platform.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And you said there are some people who are thinking they're alone in this. And I want to say this because this is such an important problem, right, for a lot of people. Because when you're sitting and you're really deep in your troubles, and you don't think there's anyone out there who can understand you, that's a really hopeless place to be, Austin. And I have been there. So I understand and I appreciate this, because if we talk about it, that makes it okay to talk about, and it helps those people who are in despair. And you know what it brings them? It brings them hope, and that's the biggest thing.
Yes, and I want to jump back, because when you were talking about share this, one of the messages that I received prior to Emergency Life Coach that just gave me chills to the bone is somebody messaged me telling me that I saved their life. And that sounds like, well, who are you to save someone's life? But you never know. And I had done a live video, and most of the people know that I'm very active. I do a lot of live videos. And someone heard my voice, they heard the message, and it was enough. Let's just say it this way, rather than me saving their life, I believe it interrupted their pattern of thinking. It interrupted what they thought was a one road, and this is the end. I'm going to make this decision. I'm going to do something that could hurt myself. And I think that with all the content being funneled down the pipeline about get rich, do this, do that, like, you never know what piece of content is going to shift somebody and change their trajectory, and maybe even save their life. And so when it comes to this, absolutely share, please. Like, just share. If you know an individual that's going through a tough time, share it with them through Messenger, send it to them, because you just never know. And I know that in doing this for a while, you never know what someone's going through. You just don't. And we can make assumptions. I mean, have you ever done this where somebody didn't get back to you, or somebody was supposed to be there at a certain time and they didn't get there, and you immediately got upset at them?
Mm-hmm.
But then you found out that they had lost a loved one.
Yes.
Or they lost their job, or they were going through a breakup, and you found out later and you almost felt bad that you had that reaction, right?
Yeah.
So we just never know what people are going through. And I think we need to be open to that. We need to be willing to share something, because we just don't know, Dela, what they're going through.
That's so true. So there's lots going on right now, Austin. People are going through a lot of transitions. And so some of those transitions are not easy for people to take. So what are we talking about? What kind of transitions are we talking about?
Yes, thank you. And I definitely want to make sure we get into what Emergency Life Coach is too. But for right now, let's talk about you, the listener. What might be happening in the listener's world, or anyone that happens to get this, is that the reality is, we know that there's job loss here in the United States, Canada, and other parts of the world. There's people that are not working. They're out of work, and they're running out of money. I've seen personal news blips and followed things where the rent forgiveness is up. People are literally vacating their properties because they can't pay the rent, right? So we know that there's transition. And by the way, we know we need strategy. People need strategy. But what I've learned is, and this is where I focus so much on this, because I hear the biggest names, the best people, Tony Robbins, right? 80% of it's psychology. So if 80% of it is psychology, that's where I want to work. I want to work on the psychology. I want to help you forge a psychology that's going to make you unflappable, so that when the job loss happens, that when you go through that breakup, the rug is pulled out from under you, where something just unexpected happens, that you not only get strategy, you're forging a psychology that's going to put you in a better place, put you in higher ground in the proverbial storm. So these types of people are losing their jobs, that they're going through. Because let's speak to the breakup thing. I've heard stories, I've heard it, I've seen it in the news, where relationships are stressed.
Yes.
You'll have a dynamic prior to COVID-19, and then COVID-19 happens, and then you're in the house with this person that you're in a relationship with, you married, and you're like, what the heck who is this person, right? Yes. So we know there's breakups happenings, there's shakeups happenings, and people are being provoked to make life changes. So we know that's happened. And sometimes there's just, the other thing that maybe is not talked about is that there's other stuff that you buried down beneath the surface And COVID-19 just kind of ripped up that seal, and now it's all coming out. Past stuff is coming out that you didn't deal with. So it could be that. And we know that this stuff is happening. People do a great job of hiding it. And Emergency Life Coach, we don't want you to hide it anymore. We want to be there to help you deal with it so you can not only survive, but thrive. Set yourself up to thrive post-COVID-19, if not sooner.
So I want to go back to what you said. Yes, we need strategies. Yes, we need strategies to deal with situations, with real life situations. The problem is that when we're not in a good place, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, we can't really think clear. And I know for me, when I was going through the rough times, I in my mind, there was no hope. In my mind, it was a desperate situation. There was nobody worse off than me. So in that mindset, I couldn't find any solutions to the problem, and that made it worse. So that's what you're talking about, isn't it?
Yes, Dela. Yes, and I definitely want to make sure we hit your story as well. But yes, it's that. It's definitely that. It's definitely, and I'll just share my own story because I think that is where this idea came from many moons ago, many years ago. I was in a relationship, and it didn't end well. There was a breakup involved. And I just want to say hello to Tony, who's listening, Ahmad, who's listening. I just want to say hello. Thank you for tuning in. But so let's get back to this. I was going through a breakup, and I just felt like the rug was ripped out from under me because it wasn't just about the breakup. It was about the other stuff that was in me. And I was going through this, and I just thought to myself, I was suffering. I really felt hopeless, desperate. I felt like I loved this person, and I still have love for that person. But at the time, I felt like that was taken away. I wasn't as evolved as I am today, so I felt like that was over. And I thought, it would be great if there was a service, because at the time counseling didn't appeal to me. I didn't want to go down a counseling road at that time. And I didn't feel like I wanted to hire a psychiatrist or anything like that. I just felt like I needed a voice, or an ear, I should say, even better, an ear to help me vet through what I was feeling, but also be tied to my outcome and the ability to maybe give me some strategy so that I could not only survive the situation, but begin to thrive. And so that idea was years ago. And then when COVID happened, I came up with Emergency Life Coach, because life coaching, we don't have to stick to a certain modality. We're attached to the individual's outcome, not how we get there, if that makes sense. And so I was committed to that. So we created Emergency Life Coach to be that, to be that stopgap. We're not against counseling. We want to supplement the effort. If we can supplement and be there and create some other modalities and ways of approaching things that helps somebody get to the other side, to thrive, that's what we wanted to do with Emergency Life Coach.
Okay. So tell us who works at Emergency Life Coach. Who are the people at Emergency Life Coach?
Well, that's a good question. They don't work here. We are part of a team. So we have some great coaches, and maybe we can bring some of the coaches on in the future. But we have Amanda Lira. She's from Canada. She deals with anxiety, past trauma. We have Rochelle, who spent many years as a social worker, but it was life coaching that had the major dramatic impact on her. We have Michelle Lepachik. Michelle's an amazing individual. She's an energy healer, and her past background was being able to respond quickly. So she's one of the people that helped us go 24 hours. And then we have Tana out in California. She deals with past trauma. She also does some energy work herself. And Tony's on here too. Tony actually helps us behind the scenes. So she helps reach out to people, stay connected with people. We really believe in follow-up and helping people, not just during the calls, but in between. We want to follow up. And then we also have Julie Gandy. Julie's a heart math coach. She's been trained by Jack Canfield, and she's also deals with like inner peace, helping somebody get inner peace. Especially if we've all made mistakes, right? Your transition might be you made a dumb mistake and you affected or impacted people's lives around you negatively. So it's how to get peace in that. Or if you're a caretaker, the other thing just to bring up is that, do you know that doctors typically go to life coaches? Doctors like to go to life coaches. And the other thing that came up for us is that these health workers that have been dealing with this COVID, where do they go? Where do they go? So we are in the initial stages. We want to grow into the need. So we're creating the platform, but we also want to grow where the need takes us as opposed to being rigid in our way of thinking. And that's why I like this platform, because we're willing to be flexible and to adapt based on what people most need.
So I love this platform because sometimes hiring a life coach can be a little intimidating, especially if you've never done that before. If you've never spoken to a life coach and you have no idea what a life coach is, I didn't know. And so this is so tell people how this works.
Yes,
if they need the service. Okay.
Yes, thank you for that, Dela. This is really important because when I created this platform, we wanted to make sure it was timely because that was important. And this is the thing. It's not like, I don't want to liken it to a crisis hotline because there's crisis hotlines out there, but it's an emergency to you. You're feeling the emotional pressure. You're feeling what's going on. You might feel stuck in your head. You might feel you don't have options. Like, what do I do? I don't have any options. I don't know where to go. So with us, first of all, we have a free resource that people can get instantly. It's a free coping activity. And the people that I've shared this with, one comment I got was, were you inside my head from this coping activity? Were you inside my head? Because it walks you through a process, through some questions. And we're actually thinking about adding some video to that, which we haven't done yet, but we're thinking about that. And then you have the option to book with a coach, and you can book with a coach in as little as an hour to 2. You can be on the phone with a coach. Mm-hmm. It's a $7 investment for 15 minutes. So we wanted to make it economical so people could easily get to a coach. I believe anybody can come up with $7 US to speak with somebody. And I've had people say, why is it only 15 minutes? Because what we want to be is the right, it's not so much the amount of time, it's at the right time. So it's 15 minutes at the right time in that hour, that sweet spot, an hour or 2, where someone's wrestling in their mind and they're getting ready to make a decision and they might make the wrong decision. They might be here listening to the wrong voice. So we want to be able to get to them quickly, so to help them vet and walk them down a healthy path to the best decision possible. And then once they get through that, then they can work with a coach permanently. We have 1 session, 3 sessions, 6 session, and everything's reduced right now because of COVID. And then post emergency life coach, we have these coaches that have their own programs that somebody can absolutely jump on board and work with. And I definitely want to talk about the life coaches too as we move through here, because there's opportunities for life coaches as well.
Can we say hi to some people? I want to make sure that we acknowledge our beautiful viewers. Navid, thank you for joining us. Tony, Ahmed is actually watching from Iran, Austin, all the way from Iran.
Wow,
so
welcome.
International.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate you.
Azadeh is watching. Rosemary Especial is watching. Thank you so much, everybody. And actually, Tony, what she's done is she's put in the link to your the free coping activity. So go ahead, please, everybody, and use that. It's amazing. And so, okay, so here's what I want to talk about, because what happens if someone is new to the idea of a coach, right? So you have a coach, you talk to a coach for a different reason that you would talk, say, to a counselor or a psychologist, right? A coach helps you in a different way. What way is that, Austin? Could you describe what a coach does?
Yes, a coach is going to be more forward focused. we want to bring you into a positive outcome, a positive future, a compelling future. We don't disregard the past, but we're not here to do deep psychological work with you. There's professionals, there's people that are trained and they're versed in doing that. What we want to be is that timely service when you are in the thick of it and you need an ear and you need some strategy. And then, I mean, I'll tell you, we've had people that have been down the traditional routes too, and then they come into our world, and it's like they kind of get what they need. So it's like everybody's journey is their own, right? But I think the thing with us is that each one of these coaches, they're not tied to any specific strategy. They're more focused on the outcome, about where a person wants to go. But here's the other thing I just want to bring up, because this is really important, Dela. This is probably the most important unspoken piece of this, is that sometimes you don't need even the strategy. Sometimes the strategy is you need somebody to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And in people's lives, family, friends, I found that some people suffer because they can't even get somebody to listen. They won't listen because everybody wants to just come in and tell you what you should do. There's an art to this, and there's a way to provide space to help somebody. Again, not going down the deep counseling route, but to honor that space, but to be moving somebody forward into a compelling future. I mean, and give them meaning, right? Because I study a lot of different modalities. One of the things that Viktor Frankl did through logotherapy was meaning. If you can give somebody meaning, you can move them forward. You can change their life. If you can give them meaning, they can suffer. They can go through anything if there's meaning attached to it.
That's
so
powerful.
That's just one example, but we are not strapped to one ideology.
Mm-hmm.
We are connected to you in your time when you need it the most, so you can grow. Everything on this planet needs to grow. And we want to provide that initial space so you can go, what just happened, right?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
What just happened to me? And you have a caring heart on the other end that can honor that space with you. And then once you're starting a process, now we can start to lay some strategy down and move you forward.
Yes, absolutely. So we have Amit Ambegankar, also a business coach. He's an amazing coach. Yes, he's watching us right now, and he says hi. Tony just posted your public Facebook page on there for people to take advantage of. Michelle says, yes, people want to be heard.
So Michelle is one of our amazing life coaches, and she's one of the reasons why we're 24 hours. So, and I just want to say this because I want to talk about, like, so right now we're talking about one of the three capacities, one of the three-pronged things for emergency life coach is getting to people, letting people find out about us when they need it the most.
Mm-hmm.
Any shares that you do, we really appreciate that. Again, I told you the story about how someone saw a video of mine. It said it saved their life. I was humbled by that. I think it interrupted their pattern. And so this is something that we cherish, and we want to grow. We want to grow this platform for people because we know it's needed.
So Pirus says, I love this topic. Thank you, Pirus. We have all been there. We have all been in a sticky situation where we couldn't see where we were going, that we thought it was the end of the road. And a coach helps us see what we need to see. Somebody said this really well, to get us to where we want to go. And so that's an amazing, because it's an outside perspective.
Yes, an unbiased outside perspective. And I mean unbiased in, again, not just we're not a family member or a friend, like we're a third party, but we're unbiased to the way we're going to work with you.
Mm-hmm.
We're even we're not saying, oh, we got to do ABC 1, 2, 3. No, we're going to honor you first where you are, and then we're going to co-create where you want to go. Right?
Amazing. Okay, I want to invite the audience, if you're watching this and something comes to your mind, a transition that you've seen happen in the people around you, in the lives of the people you love, a transition that you think they're not coping with properly. Share them with us in the comment section. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the comment.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a beautiful life coach here present that he can help you with.
Yeah, and let's just do this, because I'm a big believer of, like, if we can put on a show, and Dela, I love your show, right?
Thank you.
The show is great, but if the show doesn't make an impact, it doesn't get to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody doesn't get the coping activity. Nobody books a coach, right? It doesn't matter. It's just a show.
Mm-hmm.
So where this makes where I guess I'm going to go with the cliche, right? Where the rubber meets the road is when someone clicks. And just to make it simple, Tony's sharing the Facebook page. And let me share this, because and for the coaches that are on, Michelle's on here, what we're doing, Dela, right now is on our Facebook page, the coaches have a designated time each week where they're doing live videos. We have the schedule up there. So we have 5 coaches now that I just went through. We got Amanda, Julie, Michelle, Rochelle, and Tana. And each week, coaches do live videos on there, and we're doing it for free right now, because it's normally what we do in the private community.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it now because, again, if somebody clicks on that in the right moment, it could be a life changer. So that's easy. It's just the Facebook page.
Thank you. Amazing. I have watched you many times when you've done your lives, and yes, they often come at the right moment and the right day. It's like, oh, how did you know I was going through this? What I want to say is this: you don't come across something like this by accident. You're here for a reason. You're seeing this for a reason, whether it's for you or for someone you love. This is how we impact the world, right? Everyone in their own way. So I want to thank you. A little later, maybe you can share a couple of those coping skills on this show. But I want to tell you my experience. Is that okay?
Yes, please. I want to hear your experience, because this speaks to exactly what we're doing. And
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So again, I want to welcome everybody who's just joined us. Nina, Frida, Sedana, thank you so much for joining us today. So about 3 years ago, my brother, who's living with schizophrenia, had moved back into my mom's place, and he was going through a very rough time. This was the time he was not on medication, and he was having a really hard time. And as his caregivers, because we had no skills, we didn't know how to deal with this situation. As a matter of fact, we didn't even know anything about his mental health, and the stigma around it really prevented us to talk about it to other people. We were going also through a very rough time. So as things escalated, I went into a panic mode, and there was this one day in particular that I thought that I was gonna collapse because I couldn't breathe. It was really hard for me to breathe. I was so anxious. It was like the phone rang, Austin, and I thought something catastrophizing was going to happen to me, that I was going to hear bad news. I was constantly fearing what was going to happen. And because I didn't know anyone, because I didn't trust anyone that I could confide in, it was all inside, and it was just eating me up. I was burnt out. So it was a tough time for me that one particular day. What saved my life was a phone number that I called, and this was a hotline, and it was anonymous. The woman who answered the phone, thank God she answered the phone that day, because I have no idea where I'd be had she not answered the phone. the first thing she said to me as a coping skill was, do me a favor and breathe. And it was like, at that moment, well, we breathe all the time, but it was like she helped me. She guided me through this deep breathing process. And in about a minute, I was so much calmer. And then she started asking me, so tell me what's happening. And it was like a godsend. I felt like I can talk to someone unbiased, someone who's not going to judge me because my brother's sick, someone who knows about this, someone who doesn't look down on me because of my situation. So you can tell it's still like, it's really emotional for me because
I know, yeah.
I don't know where I'd be had I not made that call. So that is my story. And I think that if you're a human being, you are bound to find yourself in a sticky situation like that. And so having a platform like this, what a godsend. And I got to tell you, that hotline, it's not like there's 20 people working there. There's like 2 or 3 people working, or 20 around the clock. And so I was lucky that someone answered my call that day. I don't know what I would have done if the line was busy. I probably wouldn't have called back.
But that's the thing. Like, time is of the essence, and I think it is in coaching as well. That's the thing. I mean, you called that number, and I honor you for calling that number and reaching out, because it's like when you're in that pain, that's when typically people reach out. So certainly we invite that, what happened to you, but also, if you're not in that level of pain yet, we're here for those people as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't stay in the middle thinking that you have to figure everything out. But yeah, that's an amazing story. And I know that, where would it have gone? And you can still feel the emotion of that.
Yes.
And now, like, you're on the other side of that, you can look back and go, my goodness, that call was so valuable to you at the right time.
It was, because not only did I get through what I was going through in that moment, in those few minutes, but also I got started on these new strategies. Like, it was like all of a sudden I could see light, because someone's telling me what I'm going through is normal. Someone's telling me that I'm not alone. Someone's telling me that it's not my fault. Someone's telling me that I need to take care of myself. So things like self-care and self-compassion and boundaries and caregiver stress syndrome, or I think that's what it's called, caregiver burnout. These are things that were new to me, right? So when you're talking about someone giving you strategies, I totally relate to that. So thank you.
Yeah, and caregiver burnout. So Julie, one of the coaches, that's what she deals with that a lot, because she's a caretaker herself, and she's dealt with that many times with clients and people in her life. So yeah, I mean, this is real life, and it's not like, and that's the other thing about the coaches is it's like less, I hate like this, I guess I'm going to say it, it's less academic. And it's more like experience. Like, these people have lived it.
Yes.
And then they went and found the tools, or the ones they created, the ones they learned. They pulled them into, like, to because sometimes it just is it's kind of just holding on, right? Sometimes it's just holding on, and having somebody go, hold on, you can do it. Just there's that validation, because it's not. It doesn't come in a cookie cutter. It's not. Sometimes everyone is not cookie cutter. Everyone's unique and different. Their stories, their journey, everything's unique. And we want to meet people where they are and honor their unique place. And I like to say it like this. It's almost like, this is the way I like to put it. Imagine, I was telling you where to go, right? It's like, okay, Dela, you go down there and make a left and go back there, but where did you, go to see the street you came from? That street, actually, you want to go this way, right? As opposed to going, hey, Dela, lock arms with me. Let's go. We're gonna go.
Yes.
You see, it's like, so we want to lock arms with an individual and walk with them because we've walked that road.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean we've walked every road, but like I can tell you, some of these folks are just, they're strong, heart-centered people, and they have gifts. Mm-hmm. And that leads me into this, is that the other thing about Emergency Life Coach that we're looking at is these amazing life coaches out there that have spent thousands of dollars to become a coach, a life coach, but their business is not taking off. The problem of I have the cure, but no one knows I have the cure. How do I get the cure to these people? So we are building, that's the other thing about this platform. We want to help life coaches grow their business. I have 19 years in sales, marketing, and management. And so I want to take my skill set and help these coaches build their business. And so that's another facet of this, because I just heard this yesterday, and it just reminded me, and is selling is service. So if we're not offering our services to people, we're not helping them. Mm-hmm. If you're a coach and you're not selling your service, and I don't mean selling from the old traditional way, I mean if you're not in their face and offering them what you have, you're not serving them. They're not gonna, like we just talked about, they're not gonna knock on your door. Sometimes we need to get in front of them, right? They need to know we're here. So they know, oh my gosh, they're there, right? To get in front of them.
It's like a superhero that has a superpower, but they don't want anyone to know.
Right. Exactly.
That's a disservice to the world.
Exactly. You have a heart. If you are a life coach, you have a superpower, and you're the best. I can work with an individual, and boom, within a session, we got this worked out. Then you need to get in front of more clients. Mm-hmm. We want to help you do that.
And you want to know something, Austin? There are a lot of different life coaches, right? There are a lot, and maybe they're thinking, oh, who wants another life coach? But you just never know, because yes, someone could tell the same story, but you could hear it 10 times, but the one time you hear it from one other person, that's the one time it's going to resonate with you. So I think you're so right. I think that's great. And I want to appreciate you for this organization. I think it's unique. I think it's timely. I think it's necessary, especially right now, for with everything that we're going through.
Thank you.
So we have a couple of comments. Tony said, "Thank you, Dela, for being vulnerable and sharing. It's my pleasure." Yes, it is. So I want to put this up here just in case you missed that, so that you can take it down. It's in the comments section. And Michelle says, "Thank you for sharing. I have 2 sons with schizophrenia. One lives with me now, and the other chooses the street. I learned to accept their mental illness a long time ago. Love and light." Thank you so much, Michelle. I can totally resonate with that. All I have to say is hope is the one thing that really saved me. And while you were talking, Austin, you said, hold on. Actually, hope stands for hold on, pain ends. So
I just learned something new. Thank you so much for that.
I always say
hold on, pain ends. Yeah. I mean, it's it's we can go through maybe into some of my thoughts on this, but we have amazing coaches on here, and there's more coaches out there that can learn to get in front of more clients.
Are you inviting coaches to join you, Austin?
We're in phase 1. We're going to be going into phase 2. So yes, I do. I want to get this platform up to 100 coaches.
Woo!
Where, now I will tell you this, what we're going to do is we want to identify coaches, because what I found, Dela, is that a lot of coaches don't have the business side of it. They don't have the business coaching. So I want to find those coaches who want to be a part of our mastermind, our business building mastermind. And but also we're going to vet those coaches, and we're going to add them to our platform as we go. So the coaches that come onto our platform are going to be vetted. They're going to be trained through us, and they're going to, while they're developing their own brand, though, that's a key thing. And that's what makes us unique, is that we're not just offering coaches a business coaching platform. What we're offering them is a business coaching platform and the opportunity to be on our brand that's already set up, so we can help reach more clients. So it's I mean, I think the value in this is tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that we're in the initial stages right now, and more people need to know about us. We got some ads we're going to be running. I'm going to be I'm doing a local ad campaign here. We're going to be doing some Facebook ads. We're going to be doing more. It's just getting people to know about what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think getting them in front of our coaches is going to make all the difference.
Well, I believe in this platform, Austin. I think you know that, but from get-go, I was like, this is the best thing ever. I think what you're doing is fantastic. So it's so important for our viewers to share this with everybody, because, like I said, you just never know. You just never know how you could, just by this information, how you could help someone cope through a very rough time. You have a question here, Austin. Do you have training if someone wants to become a life coach?
Thank you so much for that question. We don't right now. We will. My goal is to have that by the end of the year, like fourth quarter. We take coaches that are already certified. We have some training. What our training is simple right now. We will expand, but we keep it simple. We have some basic tenets that we follow that I think are extremely powerful. So the way I approach it is, we master the basics. We want to create an identity that when a client, the listener, steps into our world, it's instantly different than anything they've ever done or worked with. And that comes from mastering the basics. So, one of the beliefs is that we're like, and this is, I just think I'm more, I speak for the other coaches too. I think we're more focused on your outcome and your breakthrough than what you think of us.
Maybe explain a little bit more about that, please.
A lot of times, people that are coaches, they want to impress the client. They want to impress the client, and they want to walk them down a path. Like, if somebody doesn't like me, and using a crude
Who
example.
doesn't like you?
I'm just saying, if somebody
doesn't like that face.
Thank you. But I mean, if I used a strategy and somebody didn't like it, and they got upset at me, but they grow, I'm okay with that. Like, I don't care if they walk away upset at me, but if they grow down the road.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And that's a rare thing. Like, a lot of times people want it to always be feel good. They want to be liked, but it's not always about being liked. And I want to say it that way. But sometimes, put it this way, it's being fearless in your expression to help that person, even if it's uncomfortable. Maybe is a better way to say it.
Yes.
You're willing to say things that are uncomfortable,
mm-hmm.
but from a place of love, and as long as they feel that, they're going to feel safe. It might upset them, might provoke them in the moment. But that's what I mean when I reference that.
So see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. This is going to be this brand. I want this to sit on its own. I want the coaches to be the identity of it. I'll be the spokesperson, but I want the coaches to be the identity behind it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I do have a question before we move on to the couple of coping strategies that you're going to share with us. If someone's wondering whether they should be a life coach, if that's in them or not, what are they looking for? What should they be looking for?
Of somebody who wants to be a life coach?
Yeah, like let's say someone says, I wonder if I could be a life coach. What would you
I
say?
found that a lot of times the people that are heart-centered tend to question themselves. Oh, I can't, who am I? But here's the thing, if people reach out to you for help and people already come to you, you're already a source of empowerment for them. And I'm not talking about the person who calls up and vents for a half hour and you listen. And by the end of the call, you're upset at them because you're the one that chose to stay on the line. But I mean people who truly call you and you're a source for them. Because sometimes people call those people that they can vet to, but if they call you, they know they're going to get, you're going to shoot straight and you're going to give them something that can empower them. So if that is you, I mean, you know, and the other thing is I say is, again, heart-centered is our big thing. Is we want people to be heart-centered.
Mm-hmm.
We all have egos. I have an ego. You have an ego, and ego can slip into any of us at any time. And we want to stay heart-centered in our approach with our coaches and with the clients, especially.
I want this platform to reach millions of people. There's so many people in the world that could use this, and I mean anyone with the who speaks English can reach this platform right now. I want you to be able to offer the service in multiple languages. Actually, one day.
That would be amazing.
Oh my God! So you could help so many more people. Because so many more people can use this service, not just English-speaking people, but I can just imagine. That I can imagine your reach, Austin. I can just see that to bring light and hope into people's lives, to guide them, to help them achieve, to give them strategies through thick or thin. I mean that is what you do. Do you mind sharing a couple of strategies right now?
I think you know this is, again, it's about mastering the basics, but you know, let's talk about the individual who should I reach out for the service,
Okay.
right? And I think that, and I feel that that's the first step. So the first step is that individual. If you're wondering if you should, the answer is you should, because that step right there is the step that opens up the next things that are going to happen. And that's, to me, is the toughest bridge to cross, because once you come into our world, you're going to be served. And let me be clear, that doesn't mean you're going to stay in our world. We might just be a step in your journey.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing. Take the step. And that's why we've offered the free coping activity. And the other thing is we and hopefully we'll get to this, but we have a community as well. We have a community. So if somebody is, you know, economically they can't afford, or they don't have because job loss, right? Hello. We have a community. It's $1 for 30 days, and that's $20 a month after that. So we've made it extremely economical.
It's like practically free.
Yeah, so maybe Tony can share the community link if somebody wants to just jump in the community.
Yes.
But after the person takes the step, I mean, even if they're not ready, like they're hearing my voice, I think that the thing is to realize that you're strong enough. Number one, I think my history was like I battled with self-worth. I didn't feel good enough. So if you're battling with self-worth, you might not think you can handle it. You will drive yourself down and not feel like you're capable. And I want to tell you that you are. That you might be shaking, you might be upset, but there's a quote by Pema Chandran. It says, when you feel shaky, sit with it. You can handle it. Sit with it. It'll speak to you. But if you know, the idea is we're not asking you to sit there alone. Take the step. Back to your story, Dela. Breath. Maybe we can all do that right now.
Let's do that.
Do that right now. Just do this right now. I'll help everybody real quick here.
Okay.
So if you're watching this, because again, I can sit here and talk and say a bunch of stuff, but just do it now.
Let's do it.
Just
Take
do
that
it.
breath.
And that all that is just stopping. Just like, first of all, just pause, right? And go, what am I doing right now? I'm watching this video. How do I feel? Why am I watching this video right now? Am I watching this to support Dela? Am I clicked on this? Somebody shared it with me, and I'm really going through a tough time. And you're listening to this, like, where am I right now? Because these questions, right, I'm asking you, if you can sit with that, like, what's happening right now? And I can tell you, when you're going through something, you might feel stuff in your body. And I just had a conversation yesterday or the other day about someone was so stressed about their mother that every time the mother called, there was like a physical manifestation to the stomach. So you gotta be aware of that, right? You gotta say, okay, what's happening right now? Okay, and then once you're fully aware, you go, I'm okay. So, and I'm going to dive deeper here, because if that's okay, is that okay if I go a little deeper?
So okay.
So I'm going to share a story with it. Just happened yesterday, and this will relate. So my dog is sitting here, sleeping on the ground.
Liberty.
Yesterday, we had thunder come, like thunder and lightning, more than normal. Like it just kept going on and on. She's triggered. She's an animal. She responds, fight or flight, right? So what happened was she started to shake. So I sat over here and I said, come sit. I got her up on the couch with me. She put her face on my leg, and she's shaking. And I just kept patting her, right? And then I eventually just shut up. And then as the noise was kicking up, she would shake. And then as the noise kicked up, I started to pat her harder. Like I would almost like, but it wasn't hurting her, but it was like just patting her. And then you know what happened? Eventually, she calmed down after about 10 minutes. But those moments, the dog doesn't know what's going on, but she's sitting in the shakiness, right? She's feeling what's happening. She's in the thick of it. And then eventually there's a calm. And she's and her brain, she's like, and you know what happened after that? The storm wasn't over. She jumped off my lap. She went over and she fell asleep. While the storm was still going on, it wasn't as loud, but she calmed, because I'm okay. And so if you're listening to this and you're shaky and you feel upset, you feel like you're feeling it, and you're feeling that fight or flight, like you got to jump forward or you got to retreat, pause. There's power in the pause. And then grab your breath. So we do it right now. And what I like to tell people is, you can close your eyes. Don't even worry. Just breathe. Just find your breath. And allow yourself to just relax. What does relaxing in your body feel like, right? Because fear can contract, courage expands. So your breath, and you can start to find that deeper breath. And when you find the deeper breath, you're actually finding the deeper part of yourself that knows that you got this. And there's a breath that you can take. That when you find that breath, you feel like it actually went to the deepest part. And when you find that, you feel that just relaxing fulfillment from that. So what I want you to do is when you're ready, and only when you're ready, just begin to flutter your eyes open and come back to this present moment. So you feel that? There's just a calm strength there. It's almost like a whisper that says, you got this. Everything's going to be okay. So, one of the best strategies is to really be aware. That's the first thing. You bring yourself into the moment and feel the shakiness. And when you feel the shakiness and you realize, I'm still here, I'm okay, that's actually very empowering. And there's some deep beliefs that when you find your deep breath, that you're actually tapping into your best self. Think about that belief for a minute. You may say, that's crazy. Like, how could that be possible? What if it is? What if it is that every deep breath you are tapping into and inviting your best self into the moment? It's never as complicated as you think it is. And it's always there. But this is the power of stress. This is the power of the wave, the proverbial COVID wave, the life transition wave. It wants you to believe that you can't handle it. It wants you to believe that you're not strong enough. But you are. And with a little help, a little lock in arms with somebody, some open space like we just created, and some strategy, you can go from wondering if you're going to survive to thriving. And it doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but
I love it.
There.
I love it. Thank you, Austin. I'm so relaxed right now.
Me too.
That was amazing. Yeah. Deep breathing always helps. And I think everybody who's watching has done that and they agree. This is
Yeah.
fantastic.
And I think though, I just want to share this because sometimes people that deal with stressful things, they can't breathe deep.
Mm-hmm.
So the first strategy is just find your breath. Just notice it and let it flow. Just try to create a natural flow. And then once you get there, then see if you can go deeper. And if you can't, just find a relaxing flow for you.
It's really becoming aware, right?
It is. Awareness is the key. Yeah.
This was fantastic. Fantastic. Austin, I have a AAA formula that I always end up coming back to at every single talk. It's amazing. So I say for us to get out of any sticky situation, overcome any oblivion, to reach any recovery from whatever it is you're trying to recover, we need to go through 3 steps that start with the letter A. The first A is for admit. And you just said that, admit to yourself that there's something that's not quite right. There's something that you need help with. The second A is for ask. Ask for help, right? Seek that help you need. Seek support. Call emergencylifecoach.com, right? Ask for help. The third A is act. Take actions. And
Brilliant.
I always come back to this, right? Does it resonate with you?
Do you want to be a coach?
You know what? I really like what I'm doing on Dela's Voice, bringing amazing coaches.
I'm having fun with you, but no, that's a great way to bring awareness to this and to obviously stimulate action. And one of the actions that somebody can take, Dela, is we have an event. I think Tony shared it on August 18th. We're going to be doing a live feed with the coaches. So on a platform like this, we're going to have all of our coaches on there. There's going to be interaction. We're going to go deeper into some of this stuff and to get in front of people. And I like that. Admit, ask, action.
Yes.
So maybe if you don't, maybe we can use that. I don't know.
So I know that you did an event like that not too long ago when you had all the coaches on a live show, and I thought that was an amazing day. I'm sure you helped a lot of people that day, and so I'm just trying to look and see if I can find it in the comment thread so that I can bring it up again. But
I have it right here. I can see it. Let me see if I can. I think I can comment here.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
So we'll share that with everyone.
Perfect. And so let's share that with everyone. Also, let's put that link back on there with the PDF to the coping
activity. I mean, there's a whole. You asked me for some strategies. I like to bring experiences to people because that's what moves them, and that's what I intuitively did. But the free PDF that we have, like I said, I shared it with the people that I'm sharing it with. One of the responses I got, I felt like you were in my head. So it's a simple questionnaire, but it walks you through. It's a great first line tool that you can do if you're going through it to get some perspective. And then the next invite is to book a coach, $7 for 15 minutes. Remember, it's when. It's not the 15 minutes. It's the when we get to you. And then we also have a private community that we're building. But like I said, some of the things we're doing, the coaches are streaming live every week, which is going to be exclusively for the private community. But right now we've made it public just in an effort to get more people out, to reach more people. So I'm just thankful. I'm so honored to be a part of your show and to, again, get the word out there about the platform and the amazing coaches. And if it's okay, I just want to tell you the coaches again, if that's okay, Dela.
Absolutely okay.
So first of all, we have Tony on here, who's like behind the scenes. She's like following up with people. She connects with people. She makes sure that we're all staying on track here. We have Amanda Lira. She's one of our emergency life coaches. She does anxiety and past trauma, as well as panic attacks, really. And we have Julie. She's a certified Jack Canfield coach, heart math trainer, and she's got 20 years in health and wellness field. She focuses on inner peace. We have Michelle, who's hopefully on here now, Michelle Lepachik. She's on here. She's an intuitive listener. How many people want somebody to listen? Just to listen. and then she also does removing triggers that lead to anxiety. And then we have Rochelle. Rochelle has 20 plus years in social work. And she's, what do you call it? I'm just reading off here. She has young adult mental health and brief solution focused therapy. So she has a master's degree in social work. And then we have Tana, who also does creating inner peace, intuitive coaching, and energy medicine. And I know Tony was actually working with Tana recently on some things, and she said it was really eye-opening, and it helped her a great deal. So we have these coaches now. We're going to be adding more. If you're a coach and you want to grow your business, definitely connect with me or send Tony a message, because we want to help you grow your business.
What a powerful team. Yeah, for sure. So I want to thank you again, Austin, for being here today, sharing this with us, and also doing what you're doing. It's amazing what you're doing. You are always trying to uplift others, enhance other people's lives, and I so appreciate you for this. You are, in fact, a superhero, my friend, and you have many superpowers.
Well,
And
I appreciate that, but you know, I think we're all superheroes. We just don't know it yet, and
Mhm.
I want to remind people that they are.
Yes, time to discover what your superpowers are and bring them to the world so that you can light up other people's paths. So, right, this is the legacy we leave behind. It's how much we have lit up the world for others.
Yep, and Dela, I just want to thank you again for having this platform and being able to bring this to the world is amazing, and I'm excited. I'd love to come on again in the
It's
future.
my pleasure. I would love to have you on here again. And thank you so much for everybody who's been watching and supporting and commenting and asking questions. Please remember to share this with your loved ones. Spread the love, spread the information, spread the inspiration, the knowledge, the motivation for change and recovery and hope, right? Hold on, and
Pain ends.
that's it.
Hold on, pain ends.
That's it. That's it.
Love that.
Thank you. Thank you to all the coaches that were on here, to Tony and Michelle. Thank you so much for everything you do. And to the rest of the coaches who weren't here, I hope to have them on here one day. All of you together. That would be fantastic.
That'd be awesome. Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it.
All right.
And everyone who's been watching, I thank you for taking the time to watch this show. And as always, this has been Dela's Voice, hoping to spark your soul. Take care. Till next time. Bye, Austin.
Bye.